First, Erik Ten Hag admits it hasn't been a great start to the season for his side.
Hi, Erik.
Hi.
Manchester United have been under the microscope this week following the conclusion of the club's internal investigation into Mason Greenwood. What are your thoughts on the process and the outcome?
Look, we are not there where we want to be with our team. I have a lot of work, I have a lot of focus on my team, and so I focus on the players who are available.
Were you expecting Mason Greenwood to be available to you? Did you want him to be?
As I said, I only have statements about our performance, our squad, where we have to improve, because it's clear we have to improve, and I have to put every effort in to get the team perform.
With that in mind, has this been a challenging week? You've obviously lost two important players to injuries on top of everything else.
Yeah, but that is the situation. It's normal. Top football, you go to the limits. Injuries coming up. It's of course it's always disappointing, but you have to deal with it, and therefore you construct a squad, and we can deal with it.
Can I just ask you, throughout this process, have you spoken at all to Mason Greenwood?
As I said, I focus on the current squad and the players who are available.
Is Rasmus Højlund available?
Not for tomorrow.
How near is he?
Near. He today, the first time he came into team training. So next week we expect him to do a full week with all the team trainings. So he's very near to make the squad.
Erik, in terms of the injuries that you mentioned a moment ago, can you bring us any more detail on Mason Mount and Luke Shaw as to what the exact problems are and how long you expect to be without them?
As you know, we can't do that. It's personal in these days. There will be, for some period, there will be absence where Luke will be longer as Mason.
So are you thinking weeks or months? I understand you can't give the exact detail from what you said.
No, but what I said, Luke will be longer, and Mason, I think, quicker.
Obviously, at left back, you also have Tyrell Malacia injured at the moment. Do you know an update on his situation? How soon will he be back?
It will also take a few weeks before he will be back.
So do you think you have the solutions in the squad currently to cope with that?
Definitely. We have the solutions in our squad to cope with that. We thought before the season about this scenario, what could happen. You hope to avoid this scenario. That's also clear. But if it happens, you have to be ready for it, and we are ready for it to deal with it.
Thank you.
Erik, do you understand why Manchester United fans do want to know your position on what's happened with Mason Greenwood?
So once again, what Manchester United fans expecting is winning Manchester United, and I'm responsible for that, and I have to put all my effort and all my focus in the current players who are available and in the current squad, and make us play better as we do now.
Thinking about the play on the pitch, Mason out injured. That midfield three at times against Tottenham looked like it might have been overrun slightly. How are you working to address that?
You always have to make clinical analyze, and that assessment is not right. It's not about the midfield. It was about the back, and it was about the front, and that's why we were open. Nothing to do with the midfield, but I already said straight after the game.
There were some fans criticising some of the fitness of the players. Casemiro got called out a bit. Is he fully fit at the moment?
Oh, if you see the numbers, then you see he's fully fit, and our fitness, I don't have any doubts. They can do it, and they after 35 minutes in Spurs they didn't do it anymore. But after the first game, we were top first rank across the Premier League fitness state.
And just a player who's been linked away from the club, Erik Bailly, are you able to tell us anything about a potential move to Marseille at all?
Now, when we have news, we will give it straight away, but we don't have in this moment, so we can't say anything about it.
Until things change, we will always get asked about our away form when away games come up, and rightly so, and we have to face up to that. We have to own it, because it is what it is, and there's nothing good about it. But we're not going to hide away from it. and do everything we can to try and change it. And United's next. We've got to show as a group that we can do better than what we've done before against them. It's our internal challenge. It's Man United, Old Trafford, and all that sort of stuff, but it's our internal challenge as well to see that we have improved and we are capable of doing better. So that's really a big part of our planning.
We made a real statement in the transfer window the last few days. Gonzalo Montiel, on loan from Seville, World Cup winner with Argentina. We'll talk about Forest a bit more in a second, but Manchester United, after the first 2 games, how convinced are they looking for you?
Not convincing. Not convincing. No, they should have lost to Wolves. I don't know how they won the game, but sometimes you find a way. Obviously, yeah. I think they got a bit fortunate with the penalty. It should have been on Onana. And against Newcastle, actually, for 20 minutes, they started the game quite well. They create a lot of good opportunities in the game. They're not clinical. They're not taking the chances at the top of the pitch. Whether Højlund can fix that, Marcus, obviously, he prefers to play off the left. But somebody needs to step up. But the balance of the team in the first 2 games has been poor. The midfield has been overrun big time. Fernandes and Mason Mount haven't really been supporting Casemiro, who's almost been on his own in there. Been a tough watch, I think. I think we've all been surprised at how United have started the season.
Yeah, but Mount's out injured now for a few weeks, just as he's trying to settle into his new surroundings. Who comes for him? Eriksen or McTominay?
Yeah, Eriksen is the more the ball player, but I think because
you need legs and energy.
And they've lacked that. They've lacked that physicality. So Scott's a great option in there. I think they need to be a little bit more compact. They're too open. The distances are too big. I think times we've seen, especially against Wolves, they pressed really high, and when they didn't win it, Wolves broke through them like a knife through butter with Nunez and Cunha. So I think he'll look to play a little bit more compact and protect Martinez, who's had some mistakes. Casemiro hasn't looked at his best.
Yeah.
So I think maybe Scott with his physicality, but Eriksen obviously is a brilliant ball player if they need him.
The wingers have also have had a real subdued start, haven't they? Anthony, Jadon Sancho.
It's been tough for them because I think they're trying to play a different way. I think with Onana in the goal, they're trying to play out from the back. I think for me, Rashford, he's offside there, but I feel like he's got to try and hit the target there. This one, he's just got to score. He could have chested it. He could have done multiple things. They are getting the chances and they are getting in areas. Anthony was unlucky there. But it's just not going in. But like Owen said, just that gameplay across the 90 minutes isn't good at all.
Yeah. So as they go about searching for goals, what is the answer with Højlund still trying to work his way back from injury?
I think I was hoping Martial, will come back. Obviously, he blows hot and cold at times. Marcus looks obviously way more comfortable off the left. Garnacho, I love Garnacho.
Could Sancho play as a false 9?
He can. I think he's smart. And Jadon looks a little bit fitter. Looks like he's had a really good pre-season, but it doesn't matter. They just need somebody to step up. Manish, I think obviously goal scoring was their biggest issue last season. They spent the money on Rasmus Højlund because they think he's going to be the guy. I think so too. I think he's got everything to be spectacular. But while he's not there, they need somebody to step up in terms of goal scoring. But also the balance of the team is off. They're way too open.
Yeah, it is a slow start for Manchester United, and it was the same case really 12 months ago, but of course they came back. They got their first trophy in 6 years, and after 40 Premier League games in charge, points from the first, Erik ten Hag is there behind Pep Guardiola, which we talk about a slow start. If they end with a similarly successive campaign as the last one, nobody would be complaining right now. Look at that, the gap between him and Pep right now, 4 points.
Yeah, I did see that, but I also think like Owen said, you just sometimes have to find a way to win. But last season, I don't particularly think they played that well in a lot of games. I think there was a spell where they just had Rashford doing Rashford things. When they was against the run of play, Rashford would score a goal. And I think this is what they've not got at the moment. So if they're not going to have Rashford scoring, Owen said, somebody else needs to step up. The goals have to come from somewhere because he's not going to be in that spot all the time to keep finishing. He doesn't look comfortable playing with his back towards goal, which we all know he's, like Owen said, he's better coming off the left. So he has to find a way to play. I personally would try Sancho up there because he's clever enough. He knows how to bring people into the game. I'm not sure Harry will hold the ball up, but I think his movement and his intelligence may cause a problem for the defenders that may open up spaces for Rashford to bomb in behind him or Antony.
Yeah, it is interesting. Marcus Rashford has already admitted, actually, in an interview at the start of this season, saying he prefers to play on the left because he's so much more involved in games, and when he's down the middle, he doesn't get involved as much. He can switch off quite easily. So, yeah, interesting to see how Erik Ten Hag plays it. But Ten Hag does have to reshuffle his defence because Luke Shaw, the left back, is out injured now for the next few weeks. And when you're facing a striker at Nottingham Forest like Taiwo Awoniyi, who's very much in form, he's going to have to look for a decent kind of way of getting around that reshuffle backline because this boy's in form.
Yeah, he's a classy player. He's brilliant in these spaces, running into these channels, and he's really worked on his finishing. That's nice sort of chop there, and he's flying. I think on the counter-attacks in transition with Gibbs White, obviously Danilo, and Awoniyi, he's amazing in kind of these spots. So it'd be really interesting to see because United are going to dominate the ball. There'll be space for these guys, like Wolves showed. These guys transition so well, and with his presence in the box, get crosses in. Sergio thought he was whipping balls in the whole game. He was unbelievable.
Yeah.
So they're a really interesting side, Nottingham Forest, the way they approach the games.
I'm actually looking forward to the game. I think, especially with Gibbs White now, I think the amount of space that we've seen over the last 2 games that Man United give up in that midfield area, he looks like he's going to have a lot of joy on the ball there, and he's going to cause them a lot of problems.
United unbeaten at Old Trafford, incidentally, going into this game in 30 matches. But do you think that could come under serious threat?
Yeah. I think the way Forest play, yeah. Because they're not scared. They know the way they're going to play. Sometimes they sit back, sometimes they press high, and they've got the players to hurt you on a counter-attack.
Yeah.
And they will use it. You've seen it against City late last year.
Yeah. So I don't want to disagree with Sean. I'm going to say no. They were the worst away team in the Premier League last season, and I don't see them fixing that Old Trafford.
Yeah. Against how bad Man United are now.
I know, but the United fans are good. They no, but I know what you mean. I think they're good in transition on the counter for us, but I think United will